I want to welcome you back to another video, and if it's your first time here, my name is Young Fizz. Please consider subscribing as I make helpful machine tutorials as well as other audio-related content like you're about to witness today. We're going to get right into it. We're going to be talking about the Maschine 3 software as well as the legacy software and what does this mean for our legacy users for Native Instruments Maschine. So I want to start off by saying that Native Instruments has decided to discontinue the support for Maschine Mark 1, the Mark II, the Micro Mark I, and then the Micro Mark II. So what does this mean for everybody else? People that still use the Maschine Plus, Maschine Mark III, Maschine Jam, the Maschine Studio, it still will be receiving support and it should work along with Maschine version 3. You might be asking yourself, well, why exactly are they doing this? Well, that's because you got to understand that Maschine Mark I and Mark II, these are 12 to 15 years old, and it's going to be hard to find parts. They're doing away with them. Technology is getting better. So you're going to have new operating systems, both for Windows and Mac computers. So that is just basically phasing out. And so we're kind of getting ready for that next chapter of Maschine 3. So if you see my last video, I talked a little bit about the Maschine and what we could expect for Maschine version 3. And what I want to do with this video is talk a little bit about Maschine 2 and what really led up to Maschine 3, which is basically a new chapter for Native Instruments Maschine software. And this is going to be truly a new and exciting time for not only me, but other Maschine users alike. So let's go ahead and dive into Maschine 2 and talk a little bit about the history of what led up to Maschine 3. All right, so here I am. I'm screen sharing with you guys. And what I want to do is just kind of show you and take you on a journey of how we get from Maschine 2.0 software to the Maschine 3. So again, we're going to be looking at version 2 here and just kind of highlighting some of the updates over the years. So when Maschine first came out, we can see in the upper right-hand corner here, we can see that it says $99, and that is for the upgrade. Now, I don't know if it has ever been less than $99. I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comments if it ever has been on a sale during either the winter time, maybe a Black Friday, or even maybe just another sale during the summer. I wouldn't be able to tell you that information because I certainly don't know. But what I do know is that Maschine 2.0 software was released in November 2013. So that was about 11 years ago. And what I want to do now is just kind of start scrolling up the page because we're starting with Maschine 2.0. And what I want to do is just kind of show you guys some of the important updates over the years to 2.15. So from 2.0 software to 2.15. So what's new in Maschine 2? It brings cutting edge advancements to Maschine, same hardware, faster workflow, unprecedented power. So we can see where it says right here, audio engine and multi-core support. We can see it had a user interface. So basically a refresh of the user interface. And it also had the Maschine drum synth as well. And I really like the drum synth. I don't use it too much, but just being able to really fine tune your own drums based off a synth was pretty awesome. We also seen a mixer, and this was again Maschine 2.0. It says now features a professional mixer, finalize your tracks faster than ever. So basically, we were able to see visually a mixer inside a Maschine, and I think this was huge. It says improved sampler. Then we had a plugin strip. And then we have tag-based visual browser, extended library. And then right here it says included complete instruments and effects. And it says the studio integration, Maschine 2.0 now lets you import MIDI files directly, send CC control to your studio gear, control Maschine parameters directly from your host DAW without going through macros. So really cool stuff there. And I'm going to go ahead and scroll back up so we can see what 2.1 had to offer. And I'm going to keep going, scrolling up so you guys can see the improvements over the years. Now, one thing I will say is that I wish they had given all of this stuff to us at the beginning of the update. So that means when we paid the $99 for the upgrade from version 1 to version 2, I feel like we should have got all the way up to 2.15 update. But we've seen that update over the years, and that's kind of what I'm going through right now. So let's continue here. It says, what's new in Maschine 2.1? The beat goes on with Maschine 2.1 software update. Discover the new Grit Kick engine, Shaker Performer mode, group MIDI export, and more. So of course, it's entirely free to anyone using the Maschine 2 software. So we've seen a lot of different things with Maschine 2.1. I'm gonna keep scrolling up here. We can see where it says Maschine 2.2, and we see the scale and chords. We see the arpeggiator, the keyboard integration, which allowed you to basically take your keyboards and integrate that with Maschine. And this right here became a big hit to Maschine users because now you were able to purchase a keyboard and integrate that with Maschine. And recently, as you guys may or may not know, recently with the Control S series Mark III, we lost that Maschine compatibility. And in version 3, we're supposed to see that compatibility slowly come back. So this was a huge thing back in, it looks like 2.2. And so let's go ahead and keep scrolling up here and see what 2.3 had to offer. And so we have looks like the drum engine was a major update. So it says here, expand your sound with complete select. So we had the drum synth, and we can see the different drum synths that we have here. And again, I really like that feature a lot. I don't use it as often as I'd like to, but when you want to take time and really dial in your sound, and then you can add effects on it, I think that was pretty cool. So right here, it says Maschine 2.4 out now. And we can see that this one says it opens the door to closer integration with third-party plugins, which I think was huge. And you have also NKS. So that means you can use other plugins where compatible with the Maschine. And of course, I was using Maschine Studio at the time. And before then, you could only use the plugins that Maschine had by themselves. So you couldn't use like your Waves plugins and other plugins. So this was a huge update here in 2.4. And then, of course, you have other updates for 2.4.6, but let's see what came out in the beginning of 2.4.6 here. And it says 2.4.6 is out now. So you have Maschine sampling capabilities. And so we had variable scene length and user default presets. Variable scene length, as we can see here in this photo here. And then we had user default presets. So it looks like you could save your presets and then also set the scene length independent of the length from your patterns. So this was a nice feature that you can use to basically kind of build your pattern and build your song and have them at different lengths. So that was a powerful feature. So let's keep on scrolling up here to see what else we had over the years. And again, this has been about 11 years since the 2.0 version for Maschine was released. So now we're looking at this here. This says Maschine 2.5 available now. Maschine 2.5 introduces dynamic new perform effects and updates the library with all new project kits and presets for all versions of Maschine, free for all Maschine 2 software owners. All right, so again, another free update. So again, we're paying our $99, and over time, we are slowly gaining new features. So let's continue on here. As we can see, this is Maschine 2.6. And I just saw here where it said variation engine, randomization, and humanization features. And then we have the lock and morph snapshots, which were pretty cool. I don't use them as often as I like, but I did do a tutorial on it. So if you want to know how that works, go to my playlist and you can find out more on how to use lock and morph snapshots. Really cool stuff. And so again, this was in Maschine 2.6. Then we have 2.6.5. And then this is 2.6.8. And 2.6.8, it bought the new bass synth. And this was pretty cool. I kind of use this when I use the talk box. I can't remember if I did a video on it or not, but I do remember experimenting with this using my talk box, using the bass synth. Pretty cool stuff there. Let's continue on. This says Maschine 2.7 with audio plugin. Now this was really cool. I remember covering this. When this came out, this was really a game changer because this allowed you to basically take loops with any time and basically time stretch them in time with your project. So again, you can import loops and have it in time with your project. And you were able to do this with little to no work. And then you had the gate mode, and then you also had like the loop mode as well. And you can kind of see that there. It says the mode gate here. So basically it's right here, it says real-time time stretching, and then you had the pitch, and chop. So you can also change the individual notes and you can play it back with different pitches. So really awesome stuff there. And this was really a game changer. Then we have Maschine 2.7.9, and it says this update includes improved editing capabilities to audio loops. And so you can see here where it talks about the different edit tab where you can do reverse, copy, paste, and set the in and out points for your loops. So you can get really creative with 2.7.9. And then brings us, looks like 2.10 features. And this was create transition across scenes, bringing unique variation to patterns. And 2.10 was a great update as well. And 2.10 made things a lot easier to me to use a Maschine, because before you would kind of struggle with, the different patterns and you only can set it a certain way. And this kind of just really opened the door for the ease of use for Maschine. Before it would kind of be like a headache, but it was usable. But this right here, it really opened the door for more creativity and just a faster workflow. And then over time, it just became better and better at the workflow. And that's why I keep telling people with Maschine, it has, I think, one of the best workflows. So right here, we can see it says Maschine 2.12 clips. And I remember covering this. And one thing that I really like about clips was the fact that it could basically use it for like mutes and stuff. So I would just insert a clip over my pattern and I can use that as a mute, or I can add like transition effects. So really cool stuff with clips. I know sometimes I see a lot of people trying to use clips to produce like a whole song inside a Maschine, which you can do. But for me, I like the traditional way of just having the patterns and scenes and being able to create that way, and then adding a clip as an overlay to do like either transition or mute effects, or just to create a whole new arrangement just within a clip. So I'm gonna keep scrolling here. 2.14, we saw the polysynth. I didn't really do too much with that. And then we have the Maschine 2.15 update, which was the auto sampler. And I didn't really use the auto sampler too much, but basically the idea was you could sample a synth just by pressing one button, and then it would kind of do the sampling for you and chop it up and all that other good stuff, right? So now, also in 2.15, we also saw the auto project recovery, which ensured that your work was always protected. So whenever a Maschine decided to crash on me, I would have my work already backed up. And that's just one feature that we knew we needed. So again, over time, we have seen all these different updates in Maschine. And like I was saying before, I think when we paid the $99, we should have got this on its initial launch date, which was November 2013. But either way, it didn't cost us nothing to update. So for me, $99 sounds pretty reasonable. And you had all your updates throughout the years, and they were completely free. So you had all these features for free throughout the years. But at the end of the day, I still say, I wish we would have had, those features at its initial launch, but that's okay. So again, over the years, all these features were introduced, and now that brings us to Maschine version 3, which is set to launch in November 2024. And that is right around the corner. So like I said, I'm really excited to, dive into Maschine 3 and just kind of show you guys some of the stuff that I create using it. I know it's going to be dope because it's been a long time coming. I know the workflow is only going to get better. And like I said, Maschine, one of the best workflows, hands down. I know a lot of people switch between, Ableton. I know people say it should be a full DAW. People use MPC. People use Logic, Pro Tools. They use a lot of different DAWs. But once you actually dive into Maschine, the software itself, and use it along with your controller, you really don't need anything else. You can really do a lot of stuff inside a Maschine. Yes, it could be a little bit better as far as automation and things like that. And all in all, I'm really looking forward to Native Instruments Maschine 3 software when it drops. Hopefully, I get my hands on it and show you guys some cool videos. It's your boy, Young Fizz, mr.dopestatus on Instagram. You can follow me there. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you on the next video, and we are out.